Every time Fashion Week hits New York City, it gets harder and harder to get into the tents at Bryant Park. You've got to work some serious connections to get invited to the collections these days.
I'm sorry, you can't have two.
This season, the fashion press couldn't help noticing that some pretty big names were left off the guest list. Where were the supermodels? True, the media has always been a little hasty in declaring an end to the supermodel era, so we won't jump to any conclusions. And yet, their absence from the runways has never been this obvious.
Tell me about this new update to your book.
Well, you know, it's been a year since Model came out, and a lot has changed. When I wrote it, the supermodels still reign supreme, and nowadays you barely ever see them. The opening words of the update are what I saw on a T-shirt in the Bowery Bar one night. It said, "Models suck." There's a whole backlash now against the supermodels, and I talk about the Fashion Cafe and how that sort of was the moment when it all turned against them, because they all pushed it a little bit too far. They're not at every single show, over and over and over, relentlessly, the same 6 faces over and over. And Christy Turlington has retired from the runway. The story of that is in this update chapter also of Model. You know, you don't see Stella Tennant is not here, Carla Bruni is not here, Karen Mulder is not here. You don't have those same 10 faces relentlessly.
But I must admit, I do miss those supermodels. And the reason I miss them is that they're older. They look more womanly. They've got a little more flesh on them. I just really miss the depth that some of the older models have in their faces, and the curves that the older models have in their figures.
So what about this new breed of model in New York? Well, they certainly are new, some as young as 14.
I mean, if a model is 14 or 15 and she looks like an adult, I ultimately, if her family and she don't have a problem with it, I don't have a problem with it. Do I have a problem with someone who looks 14 or 15 years old wearing these clothes? Absolutely. I think it's preposterous.
Fashion is sort of like rock and roll. It's for younger people. And the designers are realizing that, and they've realized that they have to speak to a new generation. It's a different generation of people now. And so, yes, there are skinny little girls on the runway, but there always were. What is Kate Moss except another generation's Twiggy? So, you know, you look at something like the Calvin Klein CK campaign, and what you understand is that the designers are now trying to reach, train, and indoctrinate a whole new fashion audience. So what they're doing is they're using younger girls, they're designing younger lines, they're aiming lines like CK at a whole new generation. You know, all those pierced and shaved people are not meant to appeal to, pardon me, old fogies like me.
I'm not pushing personalities. And one day maybe we all will again, but right now it's not about the personalities, it's about fashion. The absence of those stars in the last 3 years has been necessary to say what I want to say about the clothes.